I love it. And I got to get your prediction really quick on the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight.
Boxing. I'm team boxing, and Gervonta Davis, of course.
Gervonta Davis?
Of course.
And who would you say is the #1 pound for pound right now in boxing?
Usyk.
Great fight, great matchup. It's fun for the sport of boxing. It makes it fun. It makes it entertaining. That's what it's all about, you know. And may the best man win. It's an exhibition, regardless. It doesn't count.
The weeds for this. You part of this movement that's going on right now. Well, I got in the ring with you know, a top pound for pound fighter in the world. We got going over there contribute to help this dude.
The guy must be around 150 right now, 153, something like that. And you can really tell when he's sideways. When you look at him sideways and see the depth.
Alexander Usyk has sent Jake Paul a strong warning about battling Gervonta Davis. Usyk believes Jake Paul will lose because Tank appears to be bigger, smarter, and more skilled than Jake. Usyk responded to Paul's 5-year plan on social media, in which Paul stated that he will become a world champion and meet Usyk. Usyk did not let it go. That's a fantastic idea, Jake. I simply want to come in first place, though. I'll finish boxing soon and then wait for you in the cage. According to Usyk, Jake will be unable to defeat a smaller boxer, and he believes Tank will win easily. Usyk does not believe Jake Paul is a serious boxer, and by mocking Paul's own ambition, effectively reminded everyone that great fighters talk about their legacy, not how many people follow them on social media. Usyk made his argument without even saying Davis' name. Tank already. His recent training films show that his upper body is heavier, his legs are stronger, and he maintains the same explosive motion.
In some things, I think Gervonta's just gonna, like, you know, stick and move fast, play it smart, you know. I don't see him staying still for too long so Jake can land some shots. He'll just try to touch him. Who knows, man? It's an extra money grab.
There is a noticeable shift, be growing in size while maintaining his acuity. As a result, several professionals have spoken out. Tank's fans also believe he is clever. He's adjusting his strategy to meet Jake's size and appears like a boxer about to prove something.
Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis. That's the state of boxing.
Yeah, that's
right
crazy.
Let that sink in.
Jake
that's
Paul,
right
Gervonta Davis is so crazy. 135 versus 200. That is so nuts.
They're all exhibitions.
None of them are.
They're exhibitions.
Tank has been open about his feelings lately. I'm in a much better headspace right now than I was before. When asked how he was psychologically preparing, he responded, "That's all that matters to me." He hasn't spoken anything negative about anyone yet, and he has committed to fight for truth. Everything about him, from his stature and power to the way he moves. I just need to get used to it. I feel it will be an excellent occasion. I always battle with pyro. Jake Paul, on the other hand, has now come clean.
Went for the jugular. Jake comes back and says, anybody that puts his hands on a woman is a scumbag, and that's you. Tank responds in the world of responses it gets. In defense of himself, makes a comparison to P. Diddy. Jake literally just puts it. And I think that Jake was thinking in the moment.
He shared with TMZ, "I think there's a lot of talk about the size. But people forget that Tank is one of the top 10 pound-for-pound fighters. He is adept at using both hands to wield power, a skill he has honed over a lengthy career. In fact, I'm more scared than I've ever been before a fight." It's unusual for a fighter to admit they're terrified, especially one like Jake, who built his name on being confident and causing trouble.
How do you prepare for a guy that's different stature-wise?
Yeah, no, we have world champions. Raymond Ford in the 130-pound weight class. We got Montana Love in. Shakur Stevenson is coming in this week. So just sparring against guys on their level and people who have, you know, been doing
footwork, balance, the jab, and head movement when he was just starting out. He said it was excellent for boxing. Jake Paul and I used to train together. I knew the match was going to be great right away. However, the excitement quickly vanished as he mentioned what it would be like to fight someone like Tank. Briggs has fought punchers. Tanks have both speed and timing, and he is aware of their potential. If a fighter who trained you begins talking about how fantastic the event will be, rather than how terrific your prospects are, this could be a red flag.
Right now, I think that fight there, I think because of Tank's skill level, it's like it makes, though he's not The weight difference is crazy. Really and truly, bro, Jake Paul should not land a punch on Tank. This guy's one of the greatest.
Tony Bello has been more clear. He claimed that if Tank delivers a clean punch, Jake Paul will fall asleep. Bello can knock out power. He has been on both sides of it. His perspective is apparent. Tank's accuracy and explosiveness make Jake's stature irrelevant.
He's a marketing genius, but when it comes to people that pick his fights, I can't get my head around it. If Tank hits him clean, he's going to sleep. He'll have a lot of smoke blowing up his backside by his coaching team and people like that, but when he gets hit for real, 10 ounce, well, I'm told it's 16 ounce gloves, not like an exhibition. Right. I'm told it's big gloves and head guards, he's going to need that.
I know he's a marketing genius, but I don't see why anyone would want to watch his fights. If Tank smacks him correctly, he will fall asleep. His coaches and other at caliber will undoubtedly make a significant impact. But when he gets struck for a legitimate 10 ounces, I'm informed he'll need the 16 gloves now. It looks like an exhibition. They claim that the gloves and head guards are large. He will need them. Carl Froch believes this conflict could be fatal since it is so unpredictable. He hasn't set out to be a show. He made it sound like a potential safety hazard. Froch highlighted that Tank's explosiveness, despite his weight, could be a major issue. Jake's proclivity to fight with his chin slightly raised may be detrimental to him. Gabe Brusado, a veteran known for fighting anyone, commended Tank and informed supporters that Davis is more than simply strong. He also has setups.
Look at this face-off, Henry. What are your thoughts?
You're hearing that shit from me. That's cringe. In some weird way, I kind of like
cringe
it.
about it.
He's trying to big man the smaller guy, who the smaller guy to me is dangerous. I think Tank Davis is going to put the hands on him, but I like it, bro. I will say something about Jake Paul. He's brought a lot of attention.
Tank understands how to bring you closer to him. Rosado claimed he did not waste ammunition. That's a significant difference. Paul gets by with rhythm and straight shots. Tank disrupts the rhythm. He enters, gets you to respond, and then shoots when you're not looking. That is how he has defeated world-class opponents for years.
Talking about fighting Joshua, which is heavyweight, and now he's saying about fighting Tank. Nah, this can't be. It's Netflix as well. I need to go checks and see if like the main pages have posted this, but Jake Paul's posted it. It says Friday, November 14th. It's in Atlanta.
Davis appears to have changed his mind, which makes the situation tense. For the time being, the distractions he used to have are no longer present. His focus appears sharper than it has in years. He is serious and clearly motivated to prove something, not to his critics. But Jake, on the other hand, is still attempting to strike a balance between being a performer and a warrior. He has altered dramatically physically. Stronger builds and tighter combos. Still a significant difference between repetition and reaction. Tank has lived in that rhythm his entire life.
10 3-minute round. The fight is 195 pounds, Tank, as you know. Over 10 3-minute rounds. And when Tank and Jake enter the squared battle, they will be wearing 12-ounce gloves. 3 commission-approved professional judges will score.
Shocker Stevenson has not been unclear about the question. When asked if Jake Paul has a legitimate chance against Gervonta Davis, he simply said no. When prompted, he repeated himself, "No, no second thoughts, no lengthy explanations." Then he quietly and meticulously disassembled it. Size will play a role in the battle, but if I'm thinking like Tank, I'll probably go out there and outbox him, using my intelligence and IQ against him. I could easily see Tank outboxing him.
Realistic shot where he could land one big punch, and Tank being so much smaller, he just can't handle the power?
Nah, not at all. I think Tank is, he's been boxing his whole life. He's been boxing since a kid, so I doubt like that's going to be an issue or problem. I think Jake is good for where he's at, but I think it's just levels.
Do you see a more likely chance that Tank wins by decision?
Then he paid more attention to this matchup. You can't even bet on this because it's illegal. He said that was the point. You can't legally allow people to gamble on something that can be staged. Thus, turning it into an exhibition eliminates the gambling part. People wanted to wager on the Tyson bout, so they had to make it real. He described it as wild, erratic, and like a carnival. Basically, this conflict could be more of a spectacle than a fight.
When you go get an actual real boxer for real boxer who is a knockout artist, who is still in his prime, and now you put him in this exhibition. This just shows me right now that the sport is officially gone, and the only hope we have is September 13th, Canelo and Bud Crawford.
He did. However, give us a rough concept of how it may proceed if it's real. If they set it up as a real fight, not just a light sparring match, Tank has a shot, depending on how huge his gloves are. Malignaggi reported Jake weighs roughly 100 pounds more than him, which is a significant difference. Gervon may hurt Jake if he catches him clean with his small gloves on. However, the size discrepancy between the gloves suggests that Jake may injure Gervon severely. Since the fight was announced, the size difference has been the most discussed topic. Fans cannot believe Davis chose to weigh between 190 and 195 pounds. He has fought at around 135 pounds his entire career, including in exhibitions. Nobody that small has ever faced a full-size opponent in the cruiserweight class before. Not really. In any case,
It's boxing.
Maybe
Right.
so.
Right.
He's
But I just hope we get the Shakur fight before that moment. So for me, that Tank fight, I mean, as I understand it, Tank's fighting Jake Paul, which is the most bizarre thing ever, but I'm sure it'll do massive numbers.
Right.
And I don't know what'll happen with the Lamont Roach fight, but I just hope that
Malignaggi's argument on the gloves was also not random. The official amount is now 12 ounces, which is larger than standard professional gloves. This implies that each shot causes less damage, but both gloves are more padded. That's good news for Gervon since it protects him from Jake's more powerful strikes. However, it limits the amount of force he can transfer from his smaller body.
And you know what? PBC has to be called out in this too. They have one of the biggest stars in boxing, and they're putting him in this farcical fight. And they are struggling for survival, PBC. I mean, they are just falling apart. You know, the Pacquiao fight did terrible. Terribly promoted. Pacquiao was hardly available. I mean, it was just that they were too cheap to hire Pacquiao's normal.
Jake, on the other hand, does not seem to care about any of this. He has been selling the conflict in a way that only he can. He even went on the Double Coverage podcast, claiming that whoever finishes the other person will receive a massive knockout bonus. He mentioned it was a lot of money, but he did not specify how much. He indicated that if someone was eliminated, the winner would receive a large sum. That incentive is still valid, even if it is referred to as a TKO.
Be an exhibition bout, it will not count towards their professional careers. The age is close. Jake Paul is 28, Gervonta Davis is 30, but the weight difference is massive. Paul has fought around 200 to 227 pounds. Davis dominant at just 135 pounds. Many expected Davis to fight Lamont Roach Jr. again, but instead he chose Jake Paul, a fight many say is more about money than legacy. Critics suggest
both competitors hope to finish within the distance. Jake stated this himself. The event won't be like Floyd Logan, where no one wins. Someone is becoming worn out. Jake said that the weight difference doesn't make it any less dangerous, even if it's called an exhibition. Jake remarked that it is only a demonstration because he is approximately 70 pounds lighter. But it's genuine when we're inside. The punches are real. The knockout is real. He also made sure to continue his normal mind tricks. Jake said that the first step toward victory will be to play mind games. He claimed Travant is mentally weak in the ring. When things do not go his way, he begins to unravel. And this time, things won't go his way. He reiterated that whatever he feels will enter that ring, and whatever he intends to do, he is underestimating me.
Be an exhibition bout, it will not count towards their professional careers. The age is close. Jake Paul is 28, Gervonta Davis is 30, but the weight difference is massive. Paul has fought around 200 to 227 pounds. Davis dominant at just 135 pounds. Many expected Davis to fight Lamont Roach Jr. again, but instead he chose Jake Paul, a fight many say is more about money than legacy. Critics suggest
that observation was comparable to many others' comments on Gervon's cool demeanor and difficult situations. He is known for taking his time in battles and making minor modifications before delivering strong counterpunches. But against a much larger, more aggressive opponent, that patience could be dangerous. Jake intends to exploit his size and output to create mistakes early. For Paul, the fight is a struggle for power and control.
Be an exhibition bout, it will not count towards their professional careers. The age is close. Jake Paul is 28. Gervonta Davis is 30. But the weight difference is massive. Paul has fought around 200 to 227 pounds. Davis dominant at just 135 pounds. Many expected Davis to fight Lamont Roach Jr. again, but instead he chose Jake Paul, a fight many say is more about money than legacy. Critics suggest
Tyson already respects him for how powerfully he strikes. And now he wants to show that he can manage a major name like Tank, even at an exhibition. The underlying irony is that both boxers are approaching it as a message, even if they claim it is simply business.
I think Jake wins.
Jake's just so big, dude.
I think Jake wins.
This is different because it's similar. It's similar to Logan versus Mayweather, but
Jake has better
Paul
boxing.
now obviously is way more advanced than where Logan was at that moment in time.
I mean, it's just. I mean, yeah, no, but dude, Jake.
You ever watch his highlights?
Jake can crack, man.
Davis wants to demonstrate that boxing is still boxing. That talent is more essential than size, and that technique is important. Jake wants to prove that he is more than just a YouTube fighter, and that he can compete with true world champions, even if they are tiny. Both of them want to leave Miami without looking stupid, which makes the situation much more perilous.
The latter. But instead of giving us the rematch with Roach, he's going to fight Jake Paul. Now, this is where you have a chance to stand up as fans. Don't pay for it. Don't watch it. But we know that you're going to.
Shocker Stevenson has made his point clear. Jake Paul does not stand a chance. The lightweight champion made it clear there was no chance at all. Gervonta Davis' talent, timing, and ring IQ much outweigh any advantage Jake's size may afford him. According to Stevenson, not need to be careful